Really? That and some other stuff that we'll think up as we go. Because after all, this is Free for All Friday right here in Bible News Radio, starting right now, people.
So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, thou shalt hear the word of my mouth and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
We're gonna try to sing this song, okay? If I mess it up, don't laugh, okay? Here we go. It's out of my key, right? Come on, weatherman, give us a forecast, snowy white. Can't you hear the prayers of every childlike heart tonight? Rockies are calling, Denver snow falling. Somebody said it's 4 feet deep, but it doesn't matter. Give me the laughter. I'm gonna choose to keep another tender Tennessee Christmas, the only Christmas for me, where the love circles around us like the gifts around our tree. Well, I know there's more snow up in Colorado than my roof will ever see, but a tender Tennessee Christmas is the only Christmas for me. Because we live here in Tennessee. You like Randall singing? Isn't it awesome? Every now and then I get a wandering urge to see. Maybe California, maybe tinsel towns for me. There's a parade there, we'd have it made there. Bring home a tan for New Year's Eve. Sure sounds exciting, awfully inviting. Still, I think I'm gonna keep
Tennessee Christmas.
Let Bareface take it.
The only Christmas for me.
I'm singing the harmony, come on.
Oh. The love circles around us like the gifts around our tree. Well,
I
they sing.
stay in L.A.
He doesn't know the words.
It's a warm holiday. It's the only place to be. But a tender Tennessee Christmas.
He messed it up.
No, you messed
Because,
up.
you messed it up.
I know in LA it's a warm holiday, it's the only place to be. They say in LA. Anyway.
Okay, wait, this is going. Wait, okay. Alright. Okay. We can do this. We can do this, Bareface. We can.
Lovely inviting.
Okay.
In Colorado
Than my roof will ever see, but a tender Tennessee Christmas.
only Christmas for me. Tender Tennessee
That's right.
Christmas.
That's right, repeat bot.
Only Christmas
That's for me.
for me.
We apologize to Amy Grant and everybody who did this song.
Just leave me hanging out there singing the harmony with no melody to go with it. And the deal is that.
What? Hey. Yeah, did we just make your day? Yeah, well, good. I'm glad somebody did. Hey, I was singing that song super great before we went on the air. If only repeat. It could sing. All right, hey. Randall and
you know
me.
that song is significant, of much significance. Significantly, I was trying to think of some other adjective there to go with my adverb, but
Significantly significant.
no, that's just repetitive. That's just redundant. Anyway, it's special to us because, of course, we came from California, and every once in a while we get a wandering urge to see maybe California, maybe El Pollo Loco is for us, or
Yes, El Pollo Loco.
or In-N-Out Burger,
Yes, In-N-Out Burger.
or maybe just stand on the shore and breathe that ocean air. But
Yeah.
anyway, and before moving to Tennessee, the goal was to move to Colorado, which Stacy is thankful that didn't come to fruition.
Well, it wasn't so much moving to Colorado that was the issue. It was where you wanted to move in Colorado, in the middle of nowhere.
9 years,
Yeah.
Lisa.
Yeah, you did.
Where in Cali?
I know. In-N-Out Burger is so good. But there's actually this one place in the Orange Circle that I totally missed. They had the best burrito ever. And what I wouldn't give for one of those guacamole-filled chicken burritos.
From Jalapenos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
That's like my favorite place
You know,
in the whole world.
I was-
Bakersfield, okay.
Can anything good come out of Bakersfield?
Or Victorville. Or any other place. Chino. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Bakersfield is good. Now I throw that in. Going back, I don't know if you ever saw the movie The End with Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, and Christy McNichol. Going back then.
Give me a happy ending.
Anyway,
Every
not that.
time.
Stop. Not that abomination of a
Hey,
film.
the pirate movie was a good movie. Like Christy McNichol sang that song.
Anyway,
Just
so
you know.
in the movie The End, I
Yes.
can't tell you what year it was made, but Burt Reynolds is given a fatal diagnosis, a terminal diagnosis, and he's trying to tell his daughter, played by Christy McNichol, that he's going away, he has to say goodbye, and he's and doesn't say that he's dying. He just says, "I have to leave you," and she says, "Where are you going?" And he doesn't want to tell her that he's dying. He says, I'm going to Bakersfield." And she says, "Oh, it sounded like you were going someplace really terrible." And he says, "Have you ever been to Bakersfield?" So, anyway.
Yeah.
But back in that day, Bakersfield was kind of definitely a hick town. It's grown up a lot in the 30 years since, for sure. But recently, Stacy, just last night, I was reminiscing with another ex-Cali about the
Quick, get out if you can.
about
You're in California, leave quick today.
about the eateries around the Orange Plaza.
Uh-huh.
And his wife was a big fan of Felix's.
The Cuban place.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, talked about he asked me if I ever went to, I don't remember. I said, no, I hadn't checked out, but we did share some places that we knew and agreed we had good eats, like Jalapenos and Biblos Cafe. And
Hey. So, hey, everybody. There's Mia.
Hey.
There's Melanie. There's Lisa. There's Dottie. There's Chapel Hill Media. There's Scott. And there's Jeff. That I
his
see.
Chapel Hill Media is probably a super fan by now.
By the way, tonight I'm gonna announce the winners. There's 2 winners to my contest about the
Number of guests.
the number of guests
interviewed in
that,
2017.
Yeah, so we'll get to that in a little bit, and I'm sure more people will be coming in.
Now, does that include who's on the books now, or?
It includes the guests. I only have, I think, have 2 more guests coming up. Yes,
Yeah.
it does include those people.
Okay, so.
So what happened was...
So if you don't include those 2, because how many guests have you interviewed? Those haven't happened
the
yet.
thing
so.
is, though, I've only got 1, well, 2. That's it. But here's the thing. 2 people came within 2 votes of the actual thing, so I got to give 2 prizes away.
Yeah, and considering that two really haven't happened yet, technically, it brings it right into line with the guesses.
But they will happen.
Yeah, I know.
So,
but, unless
okay,
we're
well,
raptured
why
this
do you
evening.
always have to think negatively?
I'm not thinking negatively. I'm just saying.
Your poopy pants.
What?
What? Did you hear that?
I'm just
You
saying.
didn't say that, did you?
I'm just saying. It works out nicely that technically 2 of the interviews for this year have not happened yet.
But they will.
I'm not being negative.
I
I'm
know,
not
they're
being.
on the books.
I'm not.
They're
being
on the books.
I'm not being a Debbie Downer here.
Okay.
And the people that guessed, 2 of them were within how many of the actual number?
2.
So technically, get it? You see where I'm going with that?
I see. But I'm
All
still
right.
going to give 2 people the prize because...
Yeah, and you should.
Yeah.
I never said, people, back me up here.
No,
I didn't
don't
say,
back him
I
up.
didn't say that nobody should win.
How to
I
fight
didn't.
on
I didn't
Periscope.
say that she was wrong. These interviews aren't going to happen. This is not, back me up. I was just pointing out the significance of that 2 have not happened yet.
I know.
And the people guessing were within 2. And so...
But I included those 2 in the number.
Yes, I know
I know,
that.
so there you go.
So the one that was 2 under
All right.
was technically correct. And the one that was 2 over is, equally as close. Whether you look at the ones that haven't happened yet or as if they have happened, it's an equal win.
Yep.
Because 2 is exactly the number that haven't technically happened yet. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why that's so upsetting to you.
So we have like a couple of really hot topics to talk about. But first, I have to tell you. Okay, wait. Should I do that topic first? Okay, I'll give you guys the option to vote. Do you want to talk about the porn topic first, or do you want to talk about the parental topic? Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, put a 1 if you want to talk about porn. Put a 2 if you want to talk about parents. Okay, winners first. 2, 1, 1. Okay. Okay, I think 1 was what? Porn?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to talk about this article then. Okay, I got to find it.
Excuse me.
I know I sent it to Bareface.
I can put it up on the screen for you.
Okay, but I can't read it on the screen.
Probably could.
Okay, I'll just read it over here. Okay, so this is over on Newsweek, part of the vast right-wing conspiracy website. This was very interesting. Watching pornography may help religious Christians change their minds about abortion. Okay, first of all, wait. Does anybody see anything wrong with the title? Randall, did you see anything wrong with the title?
Well, nothing necessarily wrong with it, but let me put me back up here. But religious Christians, as opposed to the non-religious Christians,
watching pornography. That's the wrong thing.
Well,
okay.
and change, yeah.
Yeah. That would be what's wrong with the title.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It is a confusing title.
Okay. All right. So here's the article. Okay.
Okay.
Oh my god. Okay. Watching pornography can taint how men see women. Can we get a collective duh there? Duh. Okay, but the effect may sometimes be different than assumed. A new study from Canada suggests that viewing pornography is actually associated with treating women with greater tolerance, especially if these men are religious. To which I'm thinking, really? All right. 2 psychologists, one from Mount Royal University and the other from the University of Western Ontario, wanted to investigate whether and how men's attitudes towards women might be tied to pornography and or religion. I got something in my eye. Oh, it's my finger. Anyway, they used a survey of 11,658 men and 13,988 women about their church attendance, how often they had viewed an X-rated film in the past year, and attitudes toward women. These answers came from the General Social Survey, an annual study of attitudes in the U.S. population. SciPost reported. Most of the respondents were white, married, and Christian with an average age of 44. Yeah. So first of all, you got to understand, this isn't an insignificant sample size. This is a very big sample size. So
Can I?
go ahead.
Because I just love to interrupt you, and you love it when I do.
No, go ahead.
The General Social Survey, I brought this up just a couple nights ago about a study that I looked at when talking about the strange disappearance of social or Civic America and Robert Hastings. Not Robert Hastings. I can't remember his last name.
It's because you're old.
I know. Anyway, but General Social Survey is cool. It's just this general, that's it. It's not with any end in mind. We want to see if there's a correlate. There's just a bunch of random questions, like hundreds of questions they put out to a bunch of people. And then people doing research, they can say, well, it's people that answered yes to this, people that answered more than likely to this, people answered at 5 to this. And then they look at what they answered on other questions and try to, come up with some correlations or some suggestions between. Anyway, that's what it is. So
Gotcha. Hey, John is here. And so is Jordan.
So it's good to read that this was from the General Social Survey. It wasn't a study conducted specifically about pornography viewing. They took answers to these various questions and drew some conclusions based on.
Okay, so listen to this. The survey asked participants about the following: whether they agreed that women should take care of their homes and leave running the country up to men, whether they would vote for a woman nominated for president, and if they believed that men are better suited emotionally for politics. They were also asked about their attitudes toward women working outside the home and toward abortion. Together, study authors Kyler R. Rasmussen, who specializes in social psychology at Mount Royal University, and Taylor Kohut, professor of psychology at the University of Western Ontario, found that more pornography use was associated with more accepting attitudes toward women, but only in some respects, okay? Because my point here is that generally I don't think that's the case. But, for example, higher levels of pornography use were linked to more accepting attitudes toward abortion, which makes complete sense, such as thinking that abortion should be legal under all circumstances, including in cases of rape, for women who are unmarried and for women who want one for any other personal reason. However, pornography use, regardless of religious inclination, was not related to more positive attitudes toward women working outside the home or toward women in power. Hey, there's Skittles. Okay. Rasmussen highlighted that the study does not show that pornography itself was responsible for modifying men's attitudes, only that there appears to be a link between the two. We are still not sure that porn is a causal factor here, he said. But there is some reason to think that consuming X-rated material altered beliefs among men who adhered strictly to religious practices. Oh my.
Something wrong with that sentence.
I know. According to the report, more church attendance, defined as attending a religious service at least once a month, was associated with the belief that women should not have abortion rights. So, in other words, if you went to church more, you were more pro-life, to put that in okay. Should not work outside the home and should not hold political office. So, in other words, if you go to church, women should be pro-life. They should stay at home, and they should never run for office. You hear that, Hillary? No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so, but men who went to church and used pornography did not display the same negative attitudes towards women. I would say that men who use pornography are actually making objects out of women. So, men who may have been predicted to hold certain beliefs about abortion based on their religious practice fell into a different category of beliefs when porn consumption was added to the mix. Rasmussen emphasized that the effects were small and therefore say little about how the attitudes of specific individuals would be affected by pornography use, but he said they do give insight on how pornography may affect us as a group. On a societal level, the results could be potentially interesting, especially since it tipped religious people across the threshold toward favoring abortion on average. And this is where it gets interesting. Rasmussen suggests that the dissonance or internal conflict religious men experience while watching porn may explain the link between pornography consumers who are religious and increased tolerance toward women. A man's religious beliefs may lead him to believe that sexual promiscuity is wrong, and therefore watching explicit material is sinful. At the same time, he may enjoy the content, which may weigh on his conscience, which would be a good thing. It's these conflicting ideas that could lead religious men to change their views towards pornography. Religious men are motivated to reduce that discomfort. One way they can do so is by changing their attitudes toward pornography. If porn isn't wrong, then they no longer have to feel uncomfortable, Rasmussen told Newsweek. However, according to the researcher, changing attitudes towards porn can have unexpected results and sometimes change attitudes towards other beliefs, including those towards women overall. The results do not mean that religious men who watch pornography are more tolerant towards women than non-religious men with the same habits. The researchers explained that non-religious men likely don't hold these traditional gender beliefs to begin with, so porn would have little effect on their attitudes towards women in this respect. Rather, Rasmussen explained the study's ultimate results show that porn does not make everyone more egalitarian or inclined to think that all people should be treated equal, just some people. Or our results actually limit that association to just religious people. If you look closely, you'll notice that less religious people who watch porn are actually slightly less egalitarian. In other words, it appears that viewing pornography may have the opposite effect on less religious men than it does on more religious men. So you're the man. So what do you think of this study? Because I find it humorous on some level.
On so many levels.
I'm a stick in the mud, conservative, Christian, relatively godly.
Well, that sounds about, porn is less troublesome if they change my attitude about it, Welcome to the First Church of Rationalization. Hey, if you don't see it as sin, it won't bother you as much. Anyway, and then it's interesting, of course. Again, this is a general social survey. This wasn't a study conducted about pornography use and attitudes toward women. It was just general social survey. Just a bunch of questions, hundreds of questions posed to thousands of people with no particular end in mind, just to get their answers to a bunch of different things so that researchers like these can look at all the answers later and see if there are any correlations between anything.
No,
any associations.
I have allergies. I have a lot of post-nasal drip. I know. Isn't it lovely that I share that with you? So usually when you see me coughing up, I'm actually coughing up that, which, no, I don't have a cold though, so.
Yeah, so, you look at the last...
So Jeffrey says in Canada, dudes may not be so far from pro-abortion anyway.
Yeah, and you look at the last paragraph, I think it's classic. In other words, it appears that viewing pornography may have the opposite effect on less religious men that it does on more religious men. So religious men watching pornography, it makes them more pro-death, pro-abortion, more accepting of pornography, and basically erodes their morals. For those non-religious men watching pornography, it may make them look at women as objects and look less favorably on women, the non-religious men who watch pornography. So in either case, watching pornography destroys someone's character and moral, whether you have some Christian morals to begin with or don't. Watching pornography is not good. It either undermines your Christian character, or for those who had no Christian character to begin with, makes them even less sociable, looking at women as more objects. I am female, and I am pro-life, pro-choice, and pro-women. I can be all three. Yeah, well, certainly. You can be I don't see how being pro-abortion is pro-woman, but since it's anti-human, but that's just me.
Well,
Just
anyway,
saying.
that's our draw topic. Okay, now I have another topic. Because
back.
Okay, so I was in a local Facebook group here, and a woman named Amanda, I'm going to save her last name because they deleted the post because apparently it got too out of hand. But I'm going to read you what she wrote, though, because this you're going to want to weigh in, okay? Especially parents, those of you who are parents. Even if you're not a parent, you can weigh in, because I'm not a parent, and I'm going to weigh in. Okay, this is what Amanda wrote. She has 4 children and a husband, just so you know. She wrote this, quote, "Anyone else not given their kids Christmas gifts because they don't deserve them? I have had it with all the disrespect, disobedience, back-talking, etc., and they just think they should keep getting. I am so tempted to return all their gifts and say forget it. They're so ungrateful, it's unreal. They shut up, idiot, you're not my dad, I hate you, etc. Grr. End of rant. Sad face. Grr. Please tell me I'm not the only one. We just spent $7,000 on a Disney vacation over the summer, and they're never satisfied! Exclamation point. All right. What are your impressions? Because I read that and I had a whole bunch of stuff go through my mind. And then the ensuing thread, this is the amazing thing. These are people that live in the city I live in. The ensuing thread, just so you know, ended up becoming like a massive amount of people griping about their kids and the same thing. And then there was like probably 3 or 4 of us, that would be me, and a couple other people, who actually added some reason to it and said, well, you know, maybe you should get some therapy, because if your children are as horrible and rotten, disrespectful, disobedient, back-talking, etc. as they are, then maybe you need to learn how to get some help on how to parent them and raise them correctly. But anyway, so what do you think? Okay, so Jeffrey says she raised them. Yep. And keep in mind, I have a background as a therapist, and I've worked with parents like this and children, okay? A lot of children, probably hundreds and hundreds of kids. I left a comment. I said, have you ever heard of the book Boundaries for Kids? You might want to read it. But this actually also leads to a greater issue here. And spiritually, there's actually a lesson here for us. So listen to this. Has anyone else not given, and she wrote given instead of giving their kids Christmas gifts because they don't deserve them? Okay, so Michelle says, I was happy with small gifts as I knew vacation was coming. I was lucky I was able to travel. Michelle or Aaron? God loves you 24/7. Michelle or Aaron? I forgot. You're in Canada. I do know that much. Aaron. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Sorry. So the first line here, you know what I heard in my head when I read that? Anyone else not giving their kids Christmas gifts because they don't deserve them? You know what my first thought was? If God treated me that way, I would never get anything. Because she went on to say, I've had it with all the disrespect, disobedience, back-talking, blah, 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 blah. And I thought to myself, if God had it with us disrespecting him and disobeying him and back-talking him, telling him what to do, and us not being grateful and everything, do you think that he would stop giving us gifts? Is that what parental love is actually based on? Is parental love based on the fact that your kids are obedient 100% of the time? Is God's love towards us based on the fact that that we have to perform and be perfect? Or is it a parent's love, or should not a parent's love be a love that is, you know, hey, I love you in spite of, and I'm going to help you become better because I love you enough to discipline you, give you some boundaries, and help you grow up and be a mature adult. You know, I know a lot of you guys watch Vicky Fitch, and just last night on her scope, she was talking about how how she parents and how her kids, you know, have been parented under very strict guidelines. Everybody, you know, in the school, basically her older son Zach, you know, if if he was allowed to do it, then all his friends could go and do it, because the parents of all those kids looked up to Vicky and basically said, "Oh, what do you think, Vic? Do you think should we let the kids do it?" And if Vicky said no, then nobody did it. You know, and there is a error, you know, erring on the side of maybe being too strict sometimes, but also I think it's worse personally. I think it's worse to err on the side of being too lenient, because I think you get kids just like Amanda has when you do. But what do you think, Randall?
I agree wholeheartedly with you that yeah, maybe not an opportunity to say, hey, you suck as a parent, but you know, obviously there's some family dynamics going on here. If the parent is at a place where they're like, I've had it with these kids, these disrespectful kids, you know,
where do they learn that though?
Well, okay, then I'm thinking, okay, time out for both parents and children. We need to kind of regroup. Something's not working here, you know, and do the 10 steps, you know, of conflict resolution. You know, figure out how they both have contributed to the problem. But you know, I don't expect children to be adults, but parents need to take the lead, and you know, admit their shortcomings. That'll teach kids a lot. But also, you know, to set up some boundaries. I think with some established boundaries all along, there wouldn't be, you know, this month we're going on a $7,000 Disney vacation, and you know, last month we're doing that, and this month you're not getting any Christmas presents. It's just like these huge, you know, swings, the pendulum swings of parenting. You're getting totally blessed this month, or you know, last month, you know, this month you get nothing. You're in greats, and then it's like,
well, see,
something's got to be.
Well, okay, so her underlying complaint is about the disrespect and all that, but it's also a financial issue. Because she threw out that big figure, $7,000, and I'm going to bring all the toys back and everything. First of all, as a parent, she needs to understand she clearly doesn't understand that her children don't think like her. Her children have undeveloped brains. The human brain isn't fully developed until you're about 24, 25 years old. Mm-hmm. Anybody who knows anything about child development and just the development in general knows that. So these kids don't even care. They don't care about the money. They have no idea how much $7,000 is. None. I don't care how old they are. I mean, if they're teenagers, they probably do. But these are all little kids. So it's like they don't have any idea, you know? And so I
and even as teenagers, I think back to when I was a teen and looking back just how much I didn't grasp, even though I thought I did, of course, you know,
But should a parent threaten their kid by saying, I ain't going to give you a Christmas present, I'm taking all your presents back? And a whole bunch of people in this thread that live here in Christianville, Tennessee, actually said, well, you know what you should do is wrap up a box, wrap up an empty box, and then whenever the kid disbehaves, take the box and throw it into your fireplace and burn it. I mean, really? Seriously? What kind of parenting is that? This is the city I live in, people. Just so you know. I know, right?
It's the world you live in.
It's the world we live in. The muck and the mire. You know, what about the whole, like, put coal in the person's stocking? And, you know, people even say that was a bad thing. That wasn't a bad thing even for that. That was a good thing, because they would have something to use for a fire.
Yeah.
I know. Don't you think that's extreme? I totally think that's extreme. My parents would threaten us as kids. We bring our gifts back. They never did because they loved you. Yeah. Well, I think parents get overwhelmed and stressed out. And sure, because you're a parent. That's part of the job. But it blows me away, honestly.
No, I think you can placate. You know, I've seen this deal in the supermarket lines. Who am I to talk about? Where the kid throws a tantrum and then they get the candy bar just so they'll be quiet. But
I'll try that with you next time. Give me the candy bar, Randall!
Anyway, it blows you away.
Well, I think the thing that blows me away is this woman, Amanda, doesn't even have any idea how she appears to everybody else. And, you know, she didn't say she's a Christian, but, you know, most people here in Tennessee identify that way. And so then my question is, how as a community can we support a young mother? Because she is a young mother. She's young her picture is young. I guess young's relative, but to me, she looked like she's probably in her mid-20s, early 30s, and has 4 children. So it's kind of like that would stress anybody out. Trust me. I think, I have Randall. That stresses me out. He's not a child, though. But I have dogs that are irritating. Anybody want a dog named Tug? No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh, I do.
You do? Okay, you can have him. I'll put a bow on his head and give him to you for Christmas.
All right. That would be sweet.
Yeah. All right, so today, I gotta let you guys know that today is the last day that we're going to be talking about the Waterproof Bible. So if you have not gotten your Waterproof Bible yet, the sale goes through the end of the month, but today is the last day that we're promoting it, because that was our agreement with Waterproof Bible. So if you guys don't have your Waterproof Bibles yet, go get them. Get a Waterproof Bible for Christmas. What is a Waterproof Bible? We did a whole show on this. It's back in our archives. You can watch a whole show that we did with the owner of waterproofbible.com. But basically, here, I'll show you. I have one. I just happen to have one right here. But take a screenshot of that right there. And then...
after I
oh, you gotta
put you back in.
Okay, well, yeah. Okay, what should I do first? Show the Bible?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so this is actual waterproof Bible. This is literally it's plastic. You can literally get water all over it, and it won't ruin it because it's a waterproof Bible. This is an older one. So this is actually probably about 4 pounds. This one, they've since made them a lot lighter. I actually also got one of the New Testaments, but it's downstairs in my purse.
Less than a third of the weight now.
Yeah, really, really cool though. I mean, these are for people who, you want to backpack or hike, or, you don't want to ruin your other Bible, but you get a waterproof Bible and all this other stuff. Who needs a rubber ducky when you have a waterproof Bible? That's right. Hey, these are very cool. So just to show you, they're very hard to tear. You won't be able to tear them under a normal thing. Yes, you can swim with it, and you can do this. Okay, so here's the actual page, just to show you how steady that is. See that? If that was actual paper, that would totally be ripping right now. But it's not. It's waterproof. Anyway, hey, Eric. And anyway, so they also have waterproof notebooks. And this is called Tough Notes. Same people make them. You can get them at their website. This is actually a waterproof notebook made of plastic. You can write with pencil, marker, pen on these plastic. Same thing. Very cool stuff. You can save 25% on anything at their website except sale items that are already on sale. You can save 25% at waterproofbible.com. You can go ahead and put up the graphic again, Randall.
Done.
And use the coupon code Bible News Radio. And you get free shipping, too. They actually ship it quite quick, too. Literally, they get it out, I think, the next day, if not the same day, depending on what time you put it in. But just take a screenshot of that. Go there. The sale is through the end of the year. Of course, if you want to get it for Christmas, order it as soon as possible. Waterproofbible.com. It comes in the English Standard Version, King James Version, New King James Version, and NIV. And also, you can get Psalms and Proverbs and just the New Testament, the smaller one. It's about $20 with the discount. And like I said, you can, and they have markers. They have magnifying glass bookmarkers too. And Jeff's got one. I don't know how many others of you, a couple of you actually. Rob ordered one, he told me. So I think about 4 or 5 people have actually purchased one, and since we started talking about them a couple weeks ago. But just want to let you know about them now. In the event you're watching the archive of this, you got one too? Awesome. Okay, so Mia got one. Do you like it? I hope you guys like it. I hope you're not just spending money because, I told you to. You love it. Isn't it great? And they will also specialize them. Like, I know Mia is a paramedic. If you wanted to get your whole fire unit or whoever something, basically, go ahead you can have them specialize it with your logo and all that other stuff too. So waterproofbible.com. I will tweet about it again, probably a couple more times. But don't forget, it's Bible News Radio is the coupon code to save 25%, get free shipping. And we should also...
Speaking of coupon codes.
Yeah, Ariel Ministries. Also, this week we had Model
Balston
on the show talking about Hanukkah. And you guys, if you missed that show, I'm seriously, go back and watch the archive because you're going to love it. She's
serious.
I am serious.
I'm saying.
It was a great show. So we actually have the PDF. It's a 28-page Bible study on sale through Ariel right now. All you got to do is use the coupon code Bible News. You can save 20%. That brings it to $2.40. And it's downloadable. That's cheaper than a hamburger someplace, just so you know. So just go over to my Twitter account, or you can go to the bit.ly/Ariel Feast. It will take you directly to that page you see right there on the screen. Download the Bible study and learn more about the Hanukkah. It's actually pretty cool, the background. And by the way, I did schedule him. Model is going to be coming back for Purim, and I think that's in February or March. I forgot which one, but he will be back in a couple of months to talk about Esther and the Feast of Purim, which is going to be fun too. See, this is deep Bible study. This is great stuff. And for under $3, under $2.50, you can get a 28-page in-depth Bible study on Hanukkah, and it has a lot of great stuff in there. I have it. It's super good. So if you missed that, go to Twitter, my pinned tweet, Bible News there. Yeah. And if you want to shop for other stuff, just use Bible News. You'll save 20% over there at Ariel as well. Okay. So I think that's it as far as our announcements. Of course, as always, do I celebrate Hanukkah now that I'm part Jewish? Well, I actually don't. I actually haven't, because, number one, I didn't really even know what Hanukkah was, like I do now, because I'm more informed after having my guest on. And definitely want to incorporate that as part of my celebration. I happen to be a person, though, just so you know, that doesn't get really in-depth or really go all out for holidays. In part, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, I don't have that celebratory, decorative spirit. I don't have children, and I think parents actually tend to get more into it because they're doing a lot of stuff for their kids. We don't even have our tree up. Okay, what is this? 15th day of December. We have a fake tree in the garage laying in a box, still not up. And we haven't even discussed it. We're going to put it up. So, I'm just not the type of person that goes all out for a holiday. Holidays are not my favorite time of the year. And that probably sounds horrible. But if you understood my upbringing, you would probably understand why I just don't do that. Yeah. So, I'm very simple when it comes to that. But now that I know about Hanukkah and all that, and the food and the dreidel, made it out of clay, and all that, and the whole thing about the Maccabees and the temple, all that. Now that I know about all that, I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely totally cool. So, yeah, I appreciate the holiday now. And I just think it's sad that being in the church so long, I never learned it in the church. It's kind of sad, actually, that the Christian church doesn't really emphasize a part of the Bible that Jesus actually mentioned in there. So, there you go. All right, should we announce our winners? I don't think either one of them are here, it looks like. So sad, neither one of them are here. All right.
But that wasn't part of the need not be present to win. But
your mom goes all out for the holiday. It drives you crazy.
Not true yet either.
Well, my mom actually loved the holidays. My mom's been gone for 15 years, and I actually miss it. I don't really miss the aggravation from my mother, but I miss her joy during the holiday. Let's see here. Okay, so this year, Bible News Radio had... All right, you guys guessed a lot of different numbers here. Okay, wait, hold on. I gotta find my thing here. Okay. Yeah, of course, you know. Okay, so this year I counted up the number of guests that I had scheduled, and the area is cleared. I may have missed one or two, but I don't think so. We went to 2 different conferences, and on average, we interview 2 to 3 people a week for the show. All right, so we got guests. Melanie guessed 175. Her original guess was 115. Dottie guessed 200. Audrey 205. Charlene 15, but she doesn't really listen to our show, so she doesn't really know. I got other answers as high as 400 guests this year. Mark said 174. Steven said 221. John said 75. Forrest said 117. And so on and so on and so on. So I got answers all the way from 15 to like 400. The actual number of guests that we've actually had this year is 122. And that's actually a lot lower than a lot of you predicted, which kind of surprised me because I think you guys are thinking we had a guest every day. Or maybe you're thinking, hey, how many shows did we do? But we had 122 guests that we interviewed this year on our show, which is quite a few people. I'll just give you a rundown of some of these names in case you forgot. In January, we interviewed Jamie Grace. She was our very first guest of the year. Ruth Magnuson Davis, Snow Saxman, John Thornton, Ann McElhaney, Abong Eka. Amy Schmidtauer, Cynthia Bazin, Periscope Summit. We met Jamie Grace in person, talked to her there. Jeb and Jessica Robertson from Duck Dynasty, we all talked to in February. In March, we had on Nani Darwish, Lisa Silcente, David Gonzalez, Derek Gilbert, Jason Mitchell, Rabbi Greg Hirschberg, Jenny Maher, Mark Hitchcock, Brian Bird, Remember the Case for Christ, Lynn Ebe, who wrote the book Face of Cancer. In April, we had on Joel Comm, Jenny Maher, Brian Bird again, Shannon Popkin, David Limbaugh, Rush Limbaugh's brother, Tommy Norman for the first time, Regina Yoder, Del Tackett. And in May, we had on Ann Polk, Kamal Salim, Rick Costa, Pastor Pete, Tommy Norman again, Randy Newman, Kelly Condra, Dr. Jennifer Fee, Pastor Nicola Dimitrioff. In June, we had on Kamal Salim again, Tommy Norman, Stu Gerard, Pastor Pete, Anita McCaney, Wes Schaefer, Victor Torres, Brenda Love Lady Spawn, Jonathan Daughtery, Larry Tomzak, Barron, the music guy, Dr. Chaplain Gordon James Klingenschmidt, and Doug Woodward, who is also a pillar of our community. July, we had on Rick Costa again. We had on Aaron Chambers, Tommy Norman again, Victor Torres, for that movie Victor. Some of you guys got that. We had on Larissa, and then we also had on the woman from the Mend Project, which talks about abuse in the church. August, we interviewed Francis from the Israel Institute, Liz Mitchell, an author, Pastor Phil Hodson-Pillar, Mark Youngblood, Dr. Timothy Jennings, who talked about the brain, Carla Atkins, Pastor Pete, Pastor Tommy, Cheryl Chumley, Raymond Presson, who I play pickleball with, Rick Costa, Jeff Kinley, and Laura Royer we had on in August. September, we had on Carrie Ann Woods, Alyssa Keaton, Dolly Parton, we interviewed her, Kat Ello, Owen Video, Melanie Weiser, our #1 superfan, Jared Wilson, Steve Weens, and Jason Wallace we had on. In October, we had on Greg Harvey, Pastor Pete, Becky Sims. We went to the Prophecy Conference and we interviewed 24 people at that conference. Gary Stearman, Derek and Sharon Gilbert, Jonathan Kahn, L.A. Marzulli, Tommy Ice, Bill and Claudia Koenig, Bill Salas, Randall Price, Bob McGinnis, J.D. Farag, Michael Lake, Danny Benjiji, Andy Woods, Ken Johnson, David Schnittiger, Jeff Kinley, David Hawking, Tim Alberino, Jack Langford, Carl Teichribb, Tom Hughes, another guy who wrote a book called Crippled Christianity. There was 24 interviews that we did there. And that was a huge month, by the way, I should tell you. We also interviewed Eric Schneckel, Catherine Hines, Model Ballaston, Dr. J. Scott Turner, Judd Brannon, and Ariel from Jews for Jesus, all in October. We had a huge month in October. There was a lot of people. In November, last month, we had on Gail Nordskog, Jack Yost, whose wife Charmaine is in the Trump administration, Sean Foy, Mary Dodd, Bobby Barden, that was last month, and Stephen Black, my friend. And then this month we've had on Robert Spencer, Carol Kent, model Ballaston again. And we have yet to have on Mr. Kwan, who's going to be coming on the 27th, and Steve Sakhed, who is actually an author of a book that we're going to talk about next week. So we've had on a lot of people, and every single interview on air, Pastor Cindy never responded to my response to my invite. I did invite her, but she has never committed to it. So that's why she's never been on, because she never committed to it. But we have had on so many people in this year, and they're all interviews that take a lot of time. Just so you know, it's not just this show, it's behind the scenes, emailing, getting stuff together, reading the book, blah 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 and all that. So with that, I just want to say thank you to all of our pillars of the community, in particular, for helping fund us a little bit, for donating some money toward our work. 122 interviews is nothing to sneeze at. A lot of people have no idea how much work that is. And I love it. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 13 years. And in the beginning, I was taping interviews and, interviewing one person here, one person there, couple, and at one point we were doing a 2-hour show every day. And I mean, all that. So just so you know, it's been awesome. A lot of work. We've done all this on video for the most part. I think we've done everything on video this year, actually.
Thank you, Aaron.
Uh-huh.
I said, thank you, Aaron.
Yeah.
She said,
and so it's been cool. And we have covered, I mean, not only those interviews, but also all the other shows that we've done. Randall has been consistent in doing the Daily Disciple Show. And at one point we were doing that every day too, so if you really like our show and want to support it, even if you give a one-time donation, this would be the time to do it, to thank us for all the hard work and blessing us the way that we actually commit to bless you. So the pillars, thank you for doing that. Those of you who aren't yet, please become one, because you know what, next year I have at least 2 conferences scheduled. And, I keep getting put on more press lists, and I have no shortage of opportunity. I could literally have 2 guests every day if I wanted. That's how many people I get coming who want to be on our show. And I'm not kidding you. I have to intentionally go, okay, I know I can't do this. I try to stick to 1 guest a show. So anyway, go to BibleNewsRadio.com/give. And thanks. Those of you who do. All right. So, Randall, you have anything you want to bring to the table?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Well, I've got one story that's both good news and bad news.
Okay.
So, what do you want to hear first? The good part of it or the bad part of it?
I say go with the bad, and then we'll hear the good.
Well, all right. Well, there was this lawsuit in West Virginia, and because Mercer County Schools had introduced the Bible classes.
All right, can I make one other comment before you jump into that?
Sure.
I also want to say we launched the Unstuck Club this year as well, and we have about 40-50 people in that Unstuck Club, which is free for you, with almost 5 hours of video in there. So if you haven't joined the Unstuck Club, go to bit.ly/capital all caps Unstuck Club and join that. Because this weekly inspiration to move you forward. Okay, I just had to get that in there.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right, so, well, let me set it up. You said the bad news on top of the good, but the bad news is kind of the spoiler. So, well, the good news is that you recall in Mercer County, West Virginia, they introduced these Bible classes. Voluntary Bible classes, kind of Bible as literature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The whole thing was communicating ancient wisdom to modern times, and just, and the school board had approved it and started these classes. And then there was this mother, Elizabeth Deal, and her anonymous child filed a lawsuit saying that her daughter was basically bullied for not attending these classes, for choosing not to, and she was ostracized and made to feel like a lesser citizen. And so they sued the school district for introducing these Bible classes. Well, the good news is the lawsuit has been terminated. A judge dismissed the lawsuit. The bad news is the reason that the judge dismissed the lawsuit is because they've also stopped the classes. Months afterward, the lawsuit, reading from this article on BDT Online, it's a local news outlet.
Why don't you put yourself on if you're just going to talk?
Okay, well, all right. Give you a chance to whatever you want to do. Anyway, months afterward, Mercer County Schools terminated the employment of all Bible in the Schools teachers, and the Board of Education later voted to suspend the program for at least a year to ensure a thorough review and modification of the program. So a bunch of people lost their jobs. They halted the classes for at least a year and to review it. And so because of that, the judge there, the federal court judge, dismissed the lawsuit because based on the suspension of the program. So, however, the court ruling did leave the door open for an injunction if the program is reinstated in the future and found to violate the constitutional law. By the mean constitutional law, they mean the Establishment Clause and in the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution Bill of Rights, which limits the powers of Congress. Somehow, by extension, that dictates what a school district can do. I think that's quite a stretch, but that's my not so humble opinion.
There you go.
Anyway, so it's good news that the lawsuit has been dismissed. Bad news is the reason why, because they suspended the classes, but because of suspended classes, terminated all the teachers that were involved with that. So,
well, thank you for
that offensive Bible
sharing.
You're welcome. All right, dead air. Dead air for the speaker crowd.
So you have a purple wristband. I actually have a pack of 15 different colors. I actually can't get the purple off because it won't come off. I wish I could change it back to black. Just so you know, she's talking about my Fitbit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how many steps you got today? Probably more than I do.
You're asking Aaron or you're asking me?
No, I'm asking you.
Let's see. Survey says 6,070.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow, I got more than he does.
Yeah, I just
I have wait, hold on. I have 8,863.
All right.
But you have more than I do for the week.
Yeah.
I think you're up like what are you? You're up. Show the count cuz
Friday is my rowing day, is my strength day.
Row your boat gently down
my
the
virtual
stream.
boat.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Yeah,
just so you know.
2,800 steps. I'm just getting over a cold, though. Okay, that's fine. You're excused. But once you're over the cold, you got to get back at it.
Melanie walks around all day, though, so hers don't really count. You have to start getting 20,000 steps a day in order to actually give you exercise, because you already exercise as it is.
Anyway, but
I do, yeah.
But
that's because we're great, Lisa. Just saying.
Since Friday, Friday is my strength day at the gym. I used to do weights until
he's so buff.
My shoulders started getting weird on me. So then I found the row machine didn't aggravate my shoulders, and it gives me a full body workout. But the thing is, since we started doing this Fitbit challenge thing, I've noticed that the row machine on there doesn't count as single step. Not one movement counts as a step. So.
Oh, you know what? I haven't announced the winners yet.
You haven't?
Nope.
Oh, you said what all the guesses were and then named all the people, but yeah, you didn't actually.
Okay, let me announce the winners.
Hey, you should do that.
Of our contest. That would be so funny if nobody even it either. You guys are all asleep. Yeah, 135. Okay, so.
We knew they weren't here, so it didn't matter.
So there was a total of 122 guests on our show. And the two winners are Dr. John, who is not here. Usually he is. Dr. John guessed 120. And then our other one is Patricia Jones, who's a pillar of our community, and she guessed 124. So we had 122, so Dr. John and Patricia Pat will get some type of gift card from me, maybe a Starbucks gift card for a couple of bucks, for guessing, close. They both guessed within 2, so of that. And I just thought it was fun. I just thought it was fun to note, how many people we've had on the show this year. All right. And you know what? My favorite and the coolest, okay, I loved interviewing everybody except about 4 people on the list. Seriously, there was 4 pity interviews there's actually one really massive pity interview I did. There was one that turned out to be a big jerk after the interview. And I will say that I had so many favorite interviews. But I will say, for me personally, the interview that I enjoyed getting, and it was really a miracle, was interviewing Jonathan Cahn. That was totally cool because we actually did his devotional, the Book of Mysteries, for half of the year. In case you forgot, we actually did that this year. But then I will also say that all the Periscopers I interviewed was really super cool. And, of course, I'm not going to say who my favorite is because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And I really loved having Rabbi Greg Hirschberg on. He was it was very cool. I loved interviewing David Limbaugh, even though he was in a car the day that we did it.
That was this year?
It was this year. Yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think. Oh, and Joel Comm. Joel Comm by far was one of my favorite interviews this year. In fact, he was probably in the top 3 of the people that I interviewed. Because Joel is Joel. And what I liked about interviewing everybody was I got to hear different stories. And, and it was just really, it was cool to hear people that you see in one way and then you get to see them in a different way. Because, they all have different stories. But there's about 3 people on this list that I will never have back on the show, just so you know. Just so you know. Just so you know. Just so you know. Okay, anyway. Okay. So I guess we got about 10 minutes or so. So if anybody has any questions or comments, I guess we'll go ahead and entertain your comments and questions right now. I guess I have a question for you guys. How many of you have ever been to Andy's Frozen Yogurt? Is there an Andy's Frozen Yogurt in your area?
Frozen custard.
Andy's Frozen Custard, to be precisely correct, accurate. Nope, you've never been there. Okay, you're in Canada, so there's probably none in there. Nope. Okay.
I think there's just, let's see, Andy's locations.
Okay, Mia, when you came here, we took you to Culver's. That's different than Andy's.
Yeah.
Okay. I like these bots. Nope, I haven't had it.
Missouri, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Florida. Oh, coming soon, Florida, 2 locations.
Okay.
Illinois, Kansas, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee. Only 1 in Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah, and Texas.
No, I shouldn't send you any. I don't should people. Custard. It was custard, Mia. Yeah. It was still custard. It was still very good.
Yeah.
It's very similar to Andy's, actually.
Yeah, very similar. They close competition between Culver's.
They make their stuff literally like when you go there, it's literally been made within that hour. That's how fresh it is. Mm-hmm. And it's really good, just so you know.
And pricey, but
want to go next time? Yes, we will definitely do that next time you visit, because it's really good. Not good for you, I'm sure, but hey, whatever.
Good stuff.
All right, any other questions from anybody? Are there any questions from anybody? Okay, should we sing another song? Like we did at the beginning of the show and Randall messed it up?
I messed it up because you couldn't remember the words.
Oh, I had the words written in front of me. You couldn't remember the words. Should we do the replay? Oh, and I forgot Heidi Parton. She wasn't on my list. I interviewed her, too.
I didn't hear the name. I heard.
Wait a minute. I interviewed her. Let's see. How come her name isn't on this list? Oh, well, still. Did I interview her in November? I don't remember. But yeah, I interviewed her. Okay, so we had one more, but still. I'm just going to give those two the prize.
Yeah, this is the first time I've logged in on the web to my Fitbit account.
Really?
Really.
Oh.
Yeah. Cynthia and Jeff tearing it up.
Oh, yeah, you were a quasi-interview. I didn't count you, though. I actually... All right, well, then that makes 124? 4.
Yeah, 24, yeah, Heidi. Yeah. So, see? Now the two winners are... Yeah.
Yeah. Well... All right. Well, I guess you guys don't really have any questions, so me and Randall are going to leave now. So I hope you guys have a good weekend, and let's see, what else was I going to tell you?
Something else.
I think we... I'm just tired. I'm tired. Let's see. Yeah, we only have one guest tomorrow. I mean, this weekend. On Sunday, Randall is singing in church. He's on the choir. He's going to sing his song. He's going to make it simple. Sing a song. Make it simple to last their whole life long. Name that artist. Don't you? You know who it is.
Of course I do.
Hey, there's Mama Gina. You're in the choir too? I tweet you a thing. You get health treat and you make... Okay. All right, so... Okay, there's a spam bot. Bam. We're getting ready to leave, Gina. All right. All right, everybody. We hope you have a good weekend. Thank you for tuning in to this Free for All Friday episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Remember, be bold, stand up, and go with God. And happy Hanukkah. That's right.
Because
He loves you.